on the agenda is a contract increase for Pawar transportation and additional funding.
Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? More discussion? Questions? Looks like we have.
Well, no, I just wanted to bring up the team if there were questions and so forth.
I did actually have a question on this because this is with transportation. My question is very simple, and that is, did the district consider the cost of taking this transportation on in-house, doing it in-house? Because I brought this up before earlier with some of the Durham bus lines where the proposal was that we take back some of these transportation routes in-house and save ourselves quite a bundle of money. So I'm just always curious if this is something that we even considered taking back in-house as a possibility. How did that factor in?
Okay. Yes, we have looked at this. In fact, in response to the FCMAT study, we've already seen the preliminary findings. And one of the things that FCMAT confirmed, which we had already identified as a district, is that we are using contract transportation providers because we are not maximizing our routes with our in-district students. So for example, one of the things that we're not doing, which most other districts do, is we're not clustering students, and many of our students could be clustered. The other thing is we looked at, as I think you have all seen, the FCMAT study identified that we have approximately 26% of our students who have IEPs that are receiving transportation, and the average that has been identified in other studies that the FCMAT team has looked at in other districts is approximately 10%. There's still some question out about what the state average is, but it is, as far as FCMAT showed, it was about 10%. So one of the things we're looking at for the long term is we are reducing the number of students that will be receiving door-to-door transportation. And I believe the board has gotten a courtesy copy of the letter to review that Councilor Rowland and I have presented to the superintendent as a draft letter and our recommendations. And there are 3 components to the changes in transportation that will be presented. I don't know, Superintendent Lawrence, if you want me to go over those 3 changes tonight or just stick to the Pawar transportation. Okay.
And I'm just looking, if you look at the students who are receiving that transportation service, did you look at the individual students and the numbers for this particular contract and how that could be recovered at all?
We did. In fact, one of the things we looked at is there are several of the routes that are bus transportations that are being done, but right now our transportation department doesn't have the capacity to bring those in-house for the rest of the year, but we do see them having the capacity as we systematically respond to the routes that we're doing with the students that we currently have routed in-house. So that's something that Angie and I have been working on and looking at. It's kind of a twofold piece, is to make sure our students are going to schools that are as close to their home school that offers FAPE as possible, and then also looking at the routing. But at this point in the year, some of this is transportation that's already been done by our vendor, so we do owe those bills to him, the invoice